In the previous lecture, you learned that a JavaScript function can be passed into another function. So let's look at an example and find out why it's useful. To code along with me, first download the course folder from the link in the description below and open it with your favorite code editor. Here I'm using Visual Studio Code. From the course folder, open the exercise folder called JavaScript Done. And then open the index.html file in the browser. Here I also open the JavaScript console. In the index.html file, remember to link test.js file for this lecture. In the test.js file, you'll find the code we wrote in the previous lecture. Let's say that, for example, we want to delay the execution of this anonymous function for 3 seconds. Well, the window object has a method called SetTimeout that we can use for this. Let's go to MDN and see how to use this function. You can find the link from the description below. So here under syntax, we can see the method signature. And there are two forms. One which expects function with or without arguments, and another which expects a code. Now looking at below, at the explanation of these parameters, it says that code is not recommended. So we'll go ahead and stick with the first form. So the method expects a function to be the first parameter and expects time in milliseconds to be the second parameter, and in this case, it's a waiting time. And after that, we can pass in any arguments we want the function to receive when it finally executes. Now, what about this part here? Well, this is just showing that SetTimeout returns a timeout ID value as described here in the return value section. So you can use this to cancel the function before it executes. Now let's flip back to test.js file and delete the caller function altogether. Then I'll change this caller here to window.settimeout. So here we are passing in the function as our first argument, and this is known as a callback function because we want to call it back after a certain amount of time has passed. And we are going to set it to 3 seconds. So to set the time, you'll pass 3000 as the second argument, because that's how many milliseconds are in 3 seconds. And we can leave this third argument as it is, because we still want the message hello guys to be passed to our anonymous function when it's called. Alright, I'll save the change, refresh the page. After 3 seconds, the callback function was fired and the message hello guys displayed in the console. Now let's go through what we have done here. We just handed control of an action over to another function to be triggered in response to an event. In this case, the event was those 3 seconds passed. But we can also set callback functions to trigger when other events take place, and you'll learn how to do that next.